RPGs are difficult to pick up. They're a heavy time investment, and if they aren't up to snuff, they feel like a waste of time, a drag, or I drop the thing saying I'll pick it up later, then don't. If they are amazing, sometimes it feels like years to finish. I have almost 200 hours in Divinity Original Sin 2, and that took me 2 years to finish. I spent my time exploring every nook and cranny of that game. Love it, but it took a lot out of me, you know? When looking for new games to play, I'm always hesitant to buy a new RPG because I don't know if it'll be worth it, or I feel daunted to play it. When I was younger, I feel like that was less of a problem, but as I get older, I felt it more and more. But I was less hesitant for Baldur's Gate 3. Larian Studios, the same one who made Divinity Original Sin 2, crafted probably one of the best RPGs to date, and when the competition for RPGs is high, I'm glad I chose this one. The characters are phenomenal, the world is breathtaking, the RPG elements are diverse, the writing is witty, Borislav Slavov cooked on the soundtrack, and you can have a dog. Wait, count 'em two dogs! Game of the year. Oh, I missed that already. They told him to hurry up, so I wasn't there in time. It took a year, but I was in time to finish the dating simulator, game. My YouTube shorts is definitely not filled with 20 thirst traps for Halsin. That's right, they are filled with ones for Minthara. I mean, what's not to love? An important part of RPGs is the writing of your companions. These are who you're going to spend most of the time within the game, and they'll have a massive impression on the overall immersion of the game. The theme for the characters is their past trauma and how it defines them, and whether or not that trauma will continue to define them. The companion stories are compelling and enhanced by their vocal performance.
As a boy, I had a dog named Bill.
So, Minthara has one in the proverbial oven.
Some of the characters seem off-putting, like Lae'zel and Astarion, but given a bit of time, they warm up to the player, and their stories become so captivating as they come to terms with their trauma, or become victims to it. But as they warm up to the player, I do like how it's not a 180 personality shift. Lae'zel is tough, blunt, and aggressive. But she learns the necessity of compassion and relaxing her stubbornness without losing what made her who she is. But even when a character is simple and not as complex, they're still engaging. Why the fuck are you dancing? Except this part. You're like, buddy, you can't even Kazatsuki kick right. Let me show you. My Kazatsuki kicks bring all the boys to the yard. In terms of companions, it is a bit overwhelming, especially in a good playthrough with how many companions you can get. I kind of wish some of them were NPCs. I still enjoy them, but I find myself dividing more time to who's actively with me and who does fuck all at camp for the rest of the playthrough, because I'm like, I want to see my core 3, my rider dies. The story is simple, but dramatic. You get coated in worm juice, so you have to cleanse the worms before you get rabies, but there's no vaccine for rabies. And that's only if Mr. Freeze has a cure. And there's a cult of worm juice who wants to take over the world, so you have to stab all of them too. Then there's the anti-vaxxers, and they think you'll develop brain worm powers, but you'll probably increase the rate of infant mortality. I will say I do get tired of all the expository dialogue. To be fair, I can't always be 100% engaged, especially when this is a 100-hour plus game, and Timmy wants to talk about what he wants to be when he grows up. God, I thought you would never shut up. Even when I felt fatigue from the game, I still wanted to press on in the game and learn what happens next. The story is gripping, its antagonists engaging, and its twists, while not the most surprising, are satisfactory. Some older fans who like BioWare's Baldur's Gate would be glad to know there is some disconnect. Male Shepard is no longer a playable character. I know some really liked him in Baldur's Gate 4, but he just doesn't make a return here. Most of the side quests have an impact on the overall story, and it's rewarding to have the weight of your decision carry with you throughout the game, like an RPG would. Except for the artist guy. I fucking hate that Act 3 quest. Like, who wanted to spend 3 hours fighting these crappy ass ghosts for this stupid guy who does nothing for me, and then wants to steal my liquor because, oh, I'm sad and I'm on the road and I'm an artist. How did he make past the Shadow Curse? Actually, it's not the ghost's fault that you're here. It's your fault. We did it. We have saved Baldur's Gate. I will say combat is inevitable a lot of the time. It was a common trend in Divinity Original Sin 2, and by the third act of the game, I am kind of sick of most encounters turning into combat, and the combat doesn't feel as rewarding as Divinity Original Sin 2. It doesn't feel like there is any way to roleplay some of these encounters. To me, that's an issue because I think the combat is the weakest part of the game. In Divinity, there was a wide range of power soul spells you could utilize, but because this runs on D&D rules, they don't pack as much of a punch. There's still some punch, it uses D&D 5e, and it simplifies it, and frankly improves on it. I'm so sorry what Wizards of Coast has done to you, Ranger. I will say the UI takes a little bit to get used to in understanding everything you can use, but that's kind of just an RPG thing. The story levels for combat are lackluster, to say the least. There are ways to help out with explosive barrels and environmental hazard, but at the base, the combat is late. When do I unlock the level spells? And the combat tends to drag, especially with many more enemies. Once you unlock Fireball and multiple attacks, the combat becomes more enjoyable, but I still find myself getting tired of the combat with how many encounters there are. Act 1. Combat is met by Act 2. Ooh, I'm liking it. Act 3. Why is everything combat? Why am I even fighting this guy anymore? Why are we still here? Just to suffer. I don't even know why I'm fighting anymore. I'm just like a buffalo, kindly following the herd. We try to justify all the things that have occurred. Heat of the desert, that's what it is. Wait, what is it? But boss fights are fun and challenging, and I enjoy the reason behind the fights, even though I'm feeling combat fatigue. If anyone is doing honor mode, good luck. Bye-bye. That's everyone doing honor mode, by the way. This game looks very pretty, with many memorable locations. For the first time in RPG, a city feels somewhat alive in Baldur's Gate 3, and I appreciate the effort into it. You can tell the amount of love that went into this game from all the little details you find throughout the game. It's littered with all these things you can easily miss, and the exploration is well rewarded. Is the game still buggy? Yeah, but it still launched better than Cyberpunk, kind of. I'll say it is annoying that the expectation for large RPGs is that they will be buggy, and Baldur's Gate 3 is no exception to that rule. Could have been worse, yes, and its good bugs are getting patched and updates are getting put in, like 7 just got put in. I haven't actually touched that yet. But it irks me so much that sometimes I have to wait for things to get fixed when I paid for the thing to be like ready when I got it. But that's just the large state of RPGs, and I doubt that's gonna change anytime soon, but the game is playable. When I first played Baldur's Gate 3, when it fully released, my first bug was in the actual opening cutscene where our character was T-posing in their pod. It was the funniest thing. I'm gonna see if I have a screenshot. Oh, well, that's not it, but that gets the point across. Now, in terms of role-playing, I like consequences of your decisions, and that making a custom character has more weight on dialogue or decision in general. I played a paladin and violated my oath like 18 times and reloaded some saves. Yeah, I reload saves. The fuck you gonna do about it? We ain't no honor mode because I don't got none. And my character feels like they have a place in the game, even more so if you play as the Dark Urge. Dark Urge is probably the most engaging for a custom character. Also play the Origin character as well. They are so well done. I played Fane in Divinity Original Sin 2, and it was a blast. Like, it's still banging here. It's like, please, if you ever have the chance to play Origin characters, play an Origin character. Like, there is so much for you if you play an Origin character. Still, I wish there were more options for tackling situations than going to combat all the time. There are plots for evil and good characters. There isn't really a good mix between them. I didn't play an evil character, but you get Minthara, who became my favorite after watching YouTube shorts. The effort and care Larian put into the writing is what makes the game so memorable overall. If you enjoy massive RPGs with immersive writing and characters, this game will fit for you. Is it tough to sink your teeth into? Yes. But if you have time, it's well worth the investment. Combat can drag, but the narrative beats help to reinforce the fighting and keep up the momentum. And also, Fireball is funny.